We are live. Live, 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 live. Happy Friday and welcome. We're live. My live viewership sucks. Well, let's be honest. What do I get when I'm live? Maybe 10 people. I don't know. Maybe 12? Does that feel bad? Am I insecure? Do I feel like I'm wasting my time? Very interesting question, right? We're going to get back to the answer to that question in a bit, because it was actually one of the things that became a turning point for me about a year and a half ago before I fully committed into LinkedIn. And thank God I did, because 100% of my business, or almost 100% of my business, comes from LinkedIn. And we launched a LinkedIn Done For You program to help others do the same thing. Now I've got an incredibly exciting announcement coming out in the next few days. And spoiler alert, I'm not going to share it now because it's a secret and it's going to go to my inner network first. So why does it matter how many people are watching you? And at what point do you say this isn't working for me? Right? Because when I started, I listened to Gary Vaynerchuk. You'll see him here a year and a half ago. And he said, if you're not dominating LinkedIn today, you're a fool. And I had, I don't know, maybe 3,000 people on my LinkedIn, mostly friends. And when I did post, it was once a month or 2 months. LinkedIn definitely wasn't working for me. And I was getting maybe 2 thumbs up and a comment if I was lucky, and maybe, 10 people that viewed anything. I literally what I call a ghost town. So then I heard him speak in New York at Digital Marketers event. Thanks, Ryan Dice and Gary Vaynerchuk, for really showing the way. It's really, why do you go to a live event, or why do you go to a virtual event? Because one idea can change everything for you. And it did, because I got to hear him. And I walked out of there with my wife and I said, you know what? He basically has stated something that I know, which is when the platform, the social media platform, needs to grow to optimize their viewership and their content so they can slam it with advertising, they help you grow indirectly to help them grow. Let's not kid ourselves. There's nothing I'm doing magically. And Gary Vaynerchuk says it, like, this is a limited window. It will go away. It went away for every other platform. And the reason why I really locked into this is because when I built the last company with my good friend and business partner, John Asseroff, from 2008 to 12, we dominated Facebook. Now, John is amazing on TV, and we did videos, and we got almost 1 million fans. He loved it. He was great at it. And every time we did a video, we would get 10 or 20 or 30,000 people watching. And then we had this great irresistible offer that they would opt into. And then we built our mailing list to 50, 100, 50, 100,000. I'm going to turn off this alarm here. We built our mailing list to 50,000, 100,000, well, whatever, close to a couple 100,000. And our business was wildly successful. We were like, we love this Facebook thing. And then it went away. Slowly, and then quicker and quicker. And now you can't do content production as a strategy on Facebook that will ever amount to anything. It won't, because you don't get distribution. Meaning that if I produced the video, instead of 10,000 or 5,000 people, 500 would see it. So it's hardly worth the effort that it was when they were willingly sharing your content and you were getting tens of thousands of views. That's the cycle. So when he said that this is the opportunity on LinkedIn, I left. It took 4 months of grueling and painstaking trial and error, because I almost gave up multiple times, because I was doing the work and getting, 10 people, then it went to 20 people, then it went to 30 people, 50 people. And I was like, what's the point? It's 50 people. I'm doing all this work. I didn't see the big picture. That's like I'm saying early on in this live series, I'm going to get 5 people watching me live. So what's the point? Should I give up? The answer is no. And the reason why is because the consistency wins. And as long as you're delivering value add, you're helping others in whatever capacity it is, then people will see, like, that was interesting. I got something out of it, right? I got even one thing that I can try and put to use. That's a win for anybody. So I was about to give up around 50 views per video. And then I heard Gary Vaynerchuk say, don't be silly. Because just imagine that every day when you posted, which I post every day, Monday through Friday, no weekends and no holidays, but every day I could step into a conference room and 50 people, mostly ideal customers, would listen to me. He said, in real life, if every day 50 people would listen to you, you would be extraordinarily happy. You would. And that shifted everything for me. Because I remember in the 90s when I was in the financial business and I worked my ass off cold calling and getting direct mail to have maybe 10 people show up in a conference room for me to talk to them about what we did and managing money in our hedge fund and all the other stuff we did. 10 was like, yes, we got 10 in the conference room. And now I was up to 50, but because it's digital, I was discounting the numbers. And that's one thing that we're all guilty of, particularly the people that are doing a lot of business on the internet. Hundreds of thousands or millions, and you have an email list, which is thousands or 5,000s or 10,000s. But problem is that, yeah, it's great, but you diminish the value of the person behind the email, not understanding that that is a real person, and every email is a being that, if it was face-to-face or we were in a conference room or at an event speaking with 500 or 5,000 people out there, you see their eyes and there's a different type of connection and you value those relationships differently. So I began to shift and say, okay, I'm going to take a leap of faith, right? Because that's what you do. When you're coachable, you don't know many things, and whether or not you're going to continue, you need to take a leap of faith. And I did, thankfully. Because then it started to build, and it's 50 and 100. And now, on average, I don't know, we get somewhere between 500 to a couple thousand views every day. Every day. And so if you connect the dots, increased viewership, here's a key component, teaching. Right? What I'm trying and attempting to share today is the fact that you can do it, and it's okay to start small, and it's okay to start with nobody watching you. And I'm showing you that I have nobody watching me live. Don't have it. They're not live. They're not here. I'm basically doing this to the 5 people that are on here now. I don't even know if there's a number that can actually say. Let me just go over here. Maybe there is a number. I don't know. I can't even tell. Oh, one person. I see one person. See, that is pretty cool. So I am merely trying to share with you that you can do it. I did it. We do it for others. And you just need to understand that 10 people is great. 20, 50 people every day if you're an ideal customer, and you get to teach and connect, and they get to understand who you are, trust you, like you, and then you get to indoctrinate them in terms of your philosophy and your methodology. Whether it's health or wealth or fitness or leadership or sales or mindset, those are major categories. You've got your genius. And when you're able to share that and help others through content, you're indoctrinating them in how you operate. Consistency over time will then allow them to build a relationship with you. And then when they finally get to the point where they think, oh, wow, Mike knows his shit, and I could use potentially a solution to my problem, you create the ultimate, which is an inbound inquiry. That's it. Every salesperson will tell you that when you get an inbound lead of someone that's consumed a lot of your blog articles, a lot of your videos, a lot of your training on any medium, and they say, I've been watching your stuff for the last 3 or 6 months. I'm loving what you're doing. I think you might be able to help me. That is worth 50 cold leads. 50. So let me just go in here. Teaching is a nice strategy in building connections on LinkedIn. Thanks for sharing ideas, Mike. Awesome. Thank you, Robert. Awesome. Let's say this. Awesome point about the 50 people, Mike. Thank you very much. Stephen, let's give a shout out to Stephen, one of my favorite people and a client and an awesome guy, super generous, and his company is just really rock star. Robbie, another amazing guy that really is the epitome of what do you do to innovate due to COVID? Because he helped people with live events, and now he's a leader helping with virtual events. So awesome, and thank you so much. So here's the thing. I wanted to share about basically not giving up, that wherever you're starting, it's okay, that LinkedIn is the place. Literally, I shut down mostly all of them. I shut down Facebook, I shut down Twitter, I shut down Insta, anything. I wasn't even on that stuff. I basically shut it down. I rarely do any email marketing. We're going to start a new campaign soon because everything you could possibly want is on LinkedIn. 100% of your business for your next decade is on LinkedIn. So a few things I want to connect with right now. I always like connecting sort of the philosophical stuff with some data. So I'm a data guy, so let's look at some data. Let me share my screen. It's going to get wonky because I'm going to share the share. Like, you know how that happens. So bear with me a second. Ooh, I actually love that. I think this is I got to figure out why that happens. I think it's so cool. So one of the things in connecting about what we're talking today is who's on LinkedIn and why is it so important to grow your audience? And, you know, my example is in Town Square back in the day, probably in Europe, because they were mostly town squares, and America's only 250 years old, and we don't have that many town squares. But in Europe, if you got out in your soapbox and you started to talk and share about what you did and how you did it, and you had 5 people, that's fine. Now, if you're just sitting there trying to sell those 5 people, it's unlikely that those 5 people would ever tell any other people to come there because nobody likes to get sold. However, if you're educating and teaching, they might go and say, hey, this guy or gal is a rock star. And then the people around your soapbox go from 5 to 10, 50, 100, and that's what LinkedIn is. The key, though, is basically connecting with the audience, which I'm going to show you right now, the top influencers, and what you're sharing. So let's look at this. I found this, and I found this to be very interesting. These are the top people on LinkedIn. Now, LinkedIn is a serious place. It's owned by Microsoft, and we're going to go over some data points in a second. But what you'll notice here is, well, Bill Gates, well, maybe it has to do with the fact that he globally is a powerhouse, but he also owned Microsoft. So, I mean, who knows if he should be 1 or 3, but he's definitely top 5. Richard Branson, obviously another global thought leader. Chief Economic Advisor, Mohammed from Allianz, major global corporation. James Altucher. Now, this character I know from 20-something years ago in the financial markets, but he's a prolific writer and a sharer of really a lot of wisdom. It started out just being myopic in terms of the financial markets, but he's really done a lot. And his key is that he teaches. He sells the shit out of everyone because he's, you know, with Agora Financial and they sell everyone, but he also teaches. Business and data expert, Brendan Marr. I don't know Brendan, but I would be willing to say if we go to his profile, and we will, that he's actually adding value, talking about data, right? That's important. Data runs most of the organizations globally. Sally, actually, she's just total rock star, and I know that she's a teacher. Ian and Jill, Jill haven't seen, I mean, I know her, but I haven't seen her. Ryan Holmes from Hootsuite. Now, Hootsuite's one of the first in the powerhouses of social media, and I know that their content, they are prolific at content marketing. The same thing with HubSpot. HubSpot's a $1 billion plus organization, and they really invented the entire idea of content marketing. And then they built HubSpot to help companies do it. And they are one of the top distributors of training globally of all organizations. So it doesn't surprise me that Ryan's in there. And then Samara with 1 million to 1 million. I'm not that familiar with her stuff as well. The point is that you don't see any young kids that are the top on this platform that are, you know, the influencers that are hanging around their rented Ferraris or, you know, taking fake pictures of them on the top of mountains or any of the other bullshit that you see on Instagram and Facebook and the other platforms. There's no way to game this system. You used to be able in Facebook to buy likes in China, and then you had 50,000 likes. Like those other systems, there's a lot of stuff that happened, and now we have a big problem with those systems in terms of transparency and like trusted information. So they're screwed. LinkedIn is, and you'll see some of the data points, the most trusted platform out there for real information. And furthermore, by looking at the top leaders, you see it's business, right? So if you're looking to connect with business people, entrepreneurs, thought leaders, business owners, corporate executives, maybe you're in the headhunting business, you'll be shocked at the number of people are hired every minute on LinkedIn. So this is business. If you're in business, all of your business is here on LinkedIn. I just can't stress this enough. It's not something that for LinkedIn you should try and then just give it a month, and if it doesn't work out, you quit. Because the key is it's not what you can get from LinkedIn, it's what you can give. Now, if you're selling stuff on Amazon and it's merely on price and you're selling widgets or commodities, LinkedIn's probably not the place for you, because that's not the type of conversation that's taking place. Now, if you're an e-commerce guru and wizard and you're helping other people be successful at e-com, and you're teaching about pricing strategies and advertising and retargeting and shipping and supply chain, 100% the place for you. Do you get the distinction? So I just wanted to bring this up because I thought it was so interesting. And let's take a little experiment. Let's look at James' stuff. I just want to see if he is hawking stuff on LinkedIn or he takes a different approach on LinkedIn. So let's just check it out. All right, going to LinkedIn. Live experiment. Okay, there we go. Got out of there. Oh, wow, new hairdo. He's getting old like me. He's gray. Well, yeah, that's interesting. 1.2 million followers. That's pretty cool. And then the way you figure out what's going on with anyone on LinkedIn is you go to activity. You see all activity. You click that button. You click here for post. Don't look at all activity because that button is going to show you any commenting. And I bet that he has an entire team doing commenting. So it's irrelevant. But you want to look at his post. His post is his real estate. So even if he has other people doing it, which he probably does, it's a reflection of what he's trying to put out there, right? Tonight, Miami Comedy Show. Don't know what that is. The Back in New York City tour continues. So this is all, look at this. I don't even understand. 1 month is his most recent posting. A month ago. This was a month ago. This is 2 months ago. So basically, I don't know. I'm going to have to do some work in here to figure it out because I don't know why he's considered top 10. What were the statistics of how they determine that this guy is the top 10? Because he's bombing LinkedIn, right? A month ago was his most recent post. He's bombing LinkedIn. This is terrible. I mean, somebody that knows James, please have him contact me because with 1.2 million followers, I mean, this is an embarrassment. 60 likes and 6 comments. He should have thousands of these and thousands of comments. And when he's adding value on LinkedIn, he should have 5,000, 2,000, 10,000 views of adding value. So I don't even know how this happened. I'm glad we dug into this because this is terrible. Maybe I need to contact LinkedIn also and tell them that doesn't make any sense. If I'm going to try to figure out why LinkedIn thinks that this guy's a top influencer on LinkedIn, it's all wrong. All right, well, now that we are uncovering some stuff, let's figure it out. Let's see Brandon. I'm interested because I love data. Let's see what Brandon's doing. And if you're still with me, I hope you find this interesting, but this is real life experiments. This is how you get better at LinkedIn. You try to understand what's working and what's not, and you learn from others. That's the key. All right, so he's got 1.4 million followers, and I hope they're not doing the top 10 influencers by merely the number of followers because that would be absolutely 100% lame. But let's see. Same thing. There's Bernard. Great profile, set up nicely. Da 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 da. And then let's go to activity. See all activity. Let's go to the post. Let's see what he's got going on. 2 hours ago. Love it. Robotics is a branch of engineering that involves the conception, design, and manufacture of operating robots. The field of robotics, we started a simple design to help humans. So this is to me why this guy should be on there, because he's going into what robotics is, the differential, and statistics. Now, I don't know, on a scale of 1 to 10, I probably know 1 about robotics. So anything that he's going to say about this is interesting to me. And that's a Fact Friday. Let's see what else he's got. Okay, so this is a promotion of what he spoke about at Dell's thing in 2020. Fine. Oh, he's doing LinkedIn Live. Okay, that's great. And right now you can see he's talking about tech and AI. So clearly you can see that's from 6 hours ago, 7 hours ago. He's teaching. This is awesome. This is exactly what you want to do. So, what are your thoughts on multifunctional remote office space? Great engagement question. So look at this. This is beautiful. I love to see this, and I love to see his success. 162, 35, 7,600 views. That's what happens when you are adding value, and then you throw in an engagement question to get people really adding in and let other people that are smart add to the conversation. And here is his live stream. Look at this. Doing way better than me. Good for him. 5,800 views. Comments. He's crushing it. Right? So that's a day ago. Congratulations, Bernard. Let's look at one more and see what's going on. Let's look at Jill, right? Because she's with CBS News. Maybe you get up here because of just your notoriety with a television station, but personally, let's see personally if she's adding value, right? Because obviously, the CBS News can add value any day, anytime. So there she is. The things smart people do with their money. Okay. So she's not a newscaster. She's doing the money. Like that other, what's the other woman that's got the chopped hair and she always wears a shirt with the collars? If you know, put it in the chat. 7,750,000 followers. Good for her. So she's a financial analyst. So now let's see if we go to all activity. Is it a repost of CNBC or is she teaching? Okay, so she is teaching because she's talking about this hottest news of Reddit. And I could go into this for a very long time because 1987 I started in the stock market. I was a stockbroker. I managed money. I had my Series 7, 63, 24, started a fund of funds, started a hedge fund, started a portfolio reporting company. We tracked $24 billion in assets. I've seen it all. And yes, you know what? When you give the shaft to these shorting hedge funds, good. That's good for America. That's good for the world. These guys are evil, right? They're shorting and they're evil. Now, I believe there should be a market to be able to buy and go long and short. It helps with the efficiency of markets. And you should be able to take advantage of a company that you think is not going to do well as you advantage of a company you think is going to do well. But these shorters, man, they are the stock manipulators of all time. And so I'm so happy they got smashed by the little people, right? So now let them make adjustments, but don't stop the little people from creating a band of consortium that are going to, in totality, be able to go head to head. Let's take the little people head to head with the hedge funds. Don't stop them. Don't shut them down. Anyway, I digressed. I just know how evil those manipulating shorters are. So look here. This is going to be a lot of this about GameStop. Basically, all right. So she's got her show. A lot of promotion about her show. which this is the reason why you're not seeing, like, this is, she's got some kind of notoriety, but her LinkedIn is terrible, right? 49 comments. She's got 750,000 followers, and she's got 49 comments, 49 likes and 7 comments. It's terrible, because when you promote on LinkedIn, 30 thumbs up, no comments. 97 thumbs up, 9 comments. This is terrible. Okay, so it's a disaster. She's ranked, maybe she's because she's going live, but she also, anyone that knows Jill, have Jill please contact me, because it's just a disaster. I mean, she could be adding so much more value to the global population, and she's not, which really is a shame, because all this stuff is really self-promotion with very little teaching, and that's why it's all, the data's here. It's not me. The data is telling you that no one actually really cares about her LinkedIn. So I hope this little exercise was useful. Let me stop sharing for a second, because I can't multitask because I'm too new at this streaming thing. And see from a comment standpoint, bada bing, LinkedIn user, you're adding value, like, good, thank you. Yes, Magdalena. And this is a cancel culture because you can't get someone's name right. That's really stupid also, right? Sorry if I hacked your name. I'm just doing the best I can. How can you cancel someone for doing the best they can? It's not my job to be like a global pronunciator of words in other languages that I never even heard of. That's not my job. Sorry. But thank you very much for the compliment. And you are right. It's all about building relationships. And Magdalena, hope I did my best there. Yes. Lisa, shout out to you. Thank you. So let's now get back to, I want to do one more screen share. It's Friday after all, so let's have some fun. And now let's connect what we've been talking about. So we've been talking about you can do it. We all got to start someplace. I'm showing you, I'm starting from nowhere. I get, I don't know, 2 people watching me. It doesn't matter, right? We shared today about the type of content you have to teach and value. Consistency is going to be the key. You can build a following of people. 50 is good. It will grow if you add value. All of your business that you could possibly ever want on LinkedIn, right? And then we talked about, who are the people on LinkedIn? It's real business. We went to LinkedIn's top influencers. We got surprised. Holy smokes, because I don't know how they're calculating that, but I get it. If anyone knows someone in the C-level, C-suite at LinkedIn, let's put them in touch with me, because that's not right, right? Just because someone's got a big reputation or 750,000 followers, if they're not adding value to the platform and just promoting their show or their podcast, bang, doesn't deserve any accolades. So let's go into some data points now. This I love, right? If you see, LinkedIn saw a 55% increase in conversations among connections in 2020. This is a year-over-year calculation from the first quarter. And part of this is what connections are unable to meet in person. They're messaging each other over the business social platform. I mean, 55% increase. Yeah, we know COVID and of course Zoom went through the roof, but this is the place to have these conversations. Content creation on LinkedIn increased 60% in 2020. Companies and individual LinkedIn members have ramped up their LinkedIn content to stay in touch with professionals, contacts, and colleagues at an unprecedented, and it was a year. Phew! So, okay, this is exactly what I'm talking about. Now, the key is you got to do it right. The vast majority of people are doing it wrong, like 99.9%, and you saw 2 of the people we examined on the top 10, they're doing it wrong. So who's Mike Weiss to tell them? Well, I own Client Engagement Academy. We build the world's most successful online education platforms. We write curriculum for our clients, and our job is to make sure learners around the world to get the outcome they deserve, desire, and pay for. So I understand what a learner needs, and I understand that out of the 770 million people on LinkedIn, we're learners. So give us what we need. Don't promote to us, right? I don't care about your blog. I don't care about your podcast. Give me a nugget. teach me and say, if you want more, here it is. So, yeah, I can give LinkedIn some feedback, I think. Look at this. LinkedIn live streams increased by 437% in 2020. So I guess I'm one of those statistics. I will tell you that, it's a same way almost a year and a half ago I started with on the ground floor. I'm on the ground floor. I've got nothing. I got no game live, but I'm going to commit to doing it because hopefully I will have game live. And that's just the way you have to think about it, right? This is interesting. 57% of LinkedIn's traffic is mobile. Now, this is why I always teach our Done For You clients that you must do video. You must do video because what's the best experience on a mobile device? Video. Short video. Boom. It's up. It's full screen. It sounds good. Eyeball to eyeball. We're connecting. You're building trust. Yeah. Lengthy text posts or PDFs. You ever try to read those on a mobile phone? They suck. So, once again, I think I have an unfair advantage because of our online education company. And when we produce coursework and experiences and we run the platforms for clients, we give the learner the data in their preferred way to consume it. So we make our clients teach with video. 100% adoption on that. We never have courses that are just text-based. That is terrible. So it says a video. We strip out the audio. And then many times there's a transcript. So we don't know what they want, but we want to give them the opportunity to get it the way they want. So yeah, do I have an unfair advantage in a way we know that people learn? Yes. And that's what we're bringing to LinkedIn. And that's why it's so important to understand the data, right? The data always tells. LinkedIn has 15x more content impressions than LinkedIn has 15 times more content impressions than job postings. 9 billion content impressions to be precise. LinkedIn has transformed from just a recruitment platform to being a professional network where people educate and inform themselves and learn about other companies and industries. All right. Do we have a mic? Mic drop. Here. This is a calculator. Can you imagine? I still have one of these. Calculator drop. Boom. There we go. Oh, that's a good one. Calculator drop, because I'm just sharing with you that it's all about content and teaching, and it says it right here in the data. So, who should be posting on LinkedIn? 30% of a company's engagement on LinkedIn is from employees. Empower all your employees. Empower them to be great on LinkedIn. My great friend, Matt Basak, and my business partner, he's got a wonderful expression with all his marketing, and he's been doing it for a very long time. He's one of the most successful. He calls it all roads lead back to Rome. So everything he does out here leads back to his core teaching and philosophy. So if you have an organization with 5 or 10 or 50 or 5,000, let's get me in there. I'll train everyone, and let's get this band of smart. They work for you. You have confidence in them. If they're trained, they could be great advocates for the company. And all roads lead back to the parent. It's super powerful. No one's doing it. Types of posts. LinkedIn posts with images get 2 times higher engagement. So use Unsplash. Use Unsplash. They are free images. They're licensed to use. Get an image. It's easy. Put a word in, takes 2 seconds, push download, boom, you got it. So play around with a text-based post, a video post, and a post with an image. But you're seeing the data right here. All right, so I think that's good. We could go on. There's a lot of data here. What I really want to share with everyone is you can do it. And everything that you could ever want is right here on LinkedIn. It is, if you're in business. So, thank you very much. I'm just looking if there's anything else that we want to pop in here. No. Thanks, everyone. Now I got 3. Look, I have a 300% increase in my live following. I went from 1 to 3. Now I feel good about myself today, right? I can go back and upstairs and say hey to my my lovely wife and say, I just got a 300% increase in a short time in my LinkedIn Live. Yahoo! All right. Have a great weekend, and thanks for watching. Rock and roll.